Credit got you down and you're trying to buy a home, take these 5 steps and you can get into a home sooner than you think. Okay, so let's talk about credit scores for a little bit. I know I get a lot of calls every day that people don't have quite high enough credit in order to purchase a home, or they have low credit scores and they're going to be getting a loan that maybe isn't quite what they wanted to get. So let's review a couple of things. So I'm not a credit counselor, but I'm giving you 28 years of experience and looking at literally thousands of credit reports over that time. So I'm just going to kind of give you an overview of credit and what you can do to help improve your credit score so you are in a better position to buy a home in a couple of years or even sooner. So one, credit scores typically range between the mid 500s and the mid 800s. Now you'll see some people will advertise, 500 credit scores for FHA loans. But honestly, I mean, it's more of a sales ploy than anything else. At minimum, you need to have a 580 credit score to purchase a home with FHA financing, even to get something that's a reasonable rate and fees. Why is there a range? Really, it has to do with how your payment history has been. You can see from this chart that I've put up that there are a number of different things that fall into how your credit score is determined. Whether it's making your payments on time, the mix of credit that you have, whether it's installment loans or revolving loans, collection accounts, all of those things will go into what a credit score is, and the credit repositories will give you a score based off of that credit history. Now, you're going to find that there are talking heads out there that say that you don't need to have a credit score, that you don't need to have credit cards, and that simply is not true in today's time. If you are looking to purchase a home, you need to have a credit score. Not only that, but even employers tend to check credit scores. A lot of banks check credit scores to whether you can even have a checking account or savings account. But you do need to make sure that you manage that properly. But you do need to have a score in order to get a home loan. And really, the only way to get a credit score in today's market is for you to have installment loans or some credit card loans. That doesn't mean you overspend. That means you learn how to budget those correctly. So all of these things will affect your credit score, whether you've had late payments, how recent those late payments are, how much of a late payment. Were they just 30 days late, or did you allow credit cards or car payments to go 60 or 90 days late? That's when you really have credit problems. If you have recent collections, that will drag your score down. So make sure that you are paying attention to your current debt. And no matter what, all lenders are loaning you money based off of what your credit score is and based off of the likelihood that you're going to make those payments on time. No lender wants to foreclose on a home. That's not what lenders are in business for. They want to make loans and they want you to make those payments on time. So just because you're a first-time home buyer doesn't mean that a lender is going to make an exception for credit because they want to be nice to you and give you a home loan. Look at it this way when you're looking at homes and you want to get a loan. Would you loan your money of $200,000 or $300,000 to somebody you really don't know for 30 years at a given interest rate without really finding out about what their payments? Lenders want to make sure that you are making payments on smaller items, so when you get a larger item like a home loan, that you're going to be able to make those payments. That's why they look at your debt ratio. That's why we look at your income and how long you've been at your job, how much money you're making each month, whether you have consistent bonuses, whether you have consistent overtime. So all of those factors go into whether you can get qualified for a home loan. But one of the main things is we want to see what your credit is like for past credit that you've had and if you've made those payments on time. So should you buy if you have a credit score of 580? The answer, yes and no. It may be a good time for you to buy just so you can start building equity in a home. But realize with a 580 credit score, you're not going to get the best rates, and you're going to need to get an FHA loan or a VA loan. The higher the credit score, the better off you're going to be with getting a great interest rate. There are 5 things that you can do really to improve your credit. One, very simply, is make your payments on time. The longer you make consistent payments over 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, the better your credit score is going to be. Credit cards. I know a lot of people have credit card debt. I encourage everybody to get out of credit card debt, but credit cards can be a tool for you when you're building credit. So if you do have credit cards, make sure that you keep the balance on your credit card at 30% or less of the high credit limit. So what does that mean? So if you have a credit limit of $1,000, you don't want to spend more than $300 on that credit card. And if you can keep that balance at 6 to 10% of your high credit limit, that's even better for your credit score. That will help boost your credit. If you have a credit card limit of $1,000 and you have spent $1,000, that will really drag down your credit score. So again, you want to keep those balances very low, especially if you don't have good credit. It's good to carry a small balance on that credit card, even if you're paying it off every month, but to show that you can make those payments consistently will help improve your credit score. Listen, collections are a thing that affects a lot of people, especially medical collections. But the older those get on a credit report, the less effect they will have on your credit score. So if you are looking for a home loan, don't rush out and pay off collections. Wait until you talk to myself or the loan officer that you're working with on whether those need to be paid now or wait. But again, you can actually lower your credit score by paying those off, especially before you're getting a home loan. Also, after you've had any kind of major derogatory credit, you need to establish credit as soon as possible. I know that sounds scary, that sounds odd to do, but it's important to make sure that you're reestablishing credit, whether it's through a secured credit card from your local bank, a small car loan, anything like that will help to rebuild that credit. Even if you've had a difficult time in the past and you've had a bankruptcy or you've had a foreclosure, all lenders want to see that you've reestablished that credit, that you've gotten past that derogatory part, and you're able to make payments. So I hope these help you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I have put links below on how you can improve your credit score. Credit scores are so important in today's market. So please make sure that you're working as hard as you can to get that credit where it needs to be so you can purchase a home, because buying a home is one of the best investments over the long term that you can make. Have a great day.